Bright glints of copper and silver flash into view when a small coin catches the light just right. In the quiet clink of a handful of change, some surprises leap out, modern pieces hiding quirky mistakes or rare mintages that send seasoned collectors' pulses racing. Today's journey tracks two American dimes separated by decades yet united by their potential to astonish, a youthful 2015 issue sporting unexpected quirks, and a classic 1971 edition carrying the weight of time and scarcity. By examining their backstories, spotting telltale signs that elevate them beyond pocket change, and hearing tales of record-breaking auctions, you'll discover why these modest discs spark serious excitement among experts in their 40s and 50s. Let's start with the newer contender, an unassuming 2015 dime whose hidden oddities have earned it a special place in modern numismatic lore. A decade ago, the Philadelphia and Denver Mint struck millions of Roosevelt dimes dated 2015 as part of the ongoing series honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Yet within that mass production run, a handful of specimens veered off script. The Roosevelt dime first appeared in 1946, chosen to commemorate the late president's leadership and advocacy for polio research. Fast forward to 2015, and the designs remained virtually unchanged. On the obverse, Roosevelt's left-facing profile, hair details crisply defined; on the reverse, a torch flanked by olive and oak branches symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Mass production meant exacting quality controls, but with machines rotating thousands of coin blanks every hour, oddities slipped through. For die-hardeners and quality inspectors, spotting an anomaly was easy enough, but recalling and pulling every flawed example from circulation proved impossible. That lapse in perfection is what gives the 2015 dime its modern intrigue. When a coin's design elements misalign, double, or vanish, mint errors occur. On the 2015 issues, collectors have documented double dies, where images appear ghosted or shadowed from misaligned die impressions. Some samples reveal die cracks, raised lines across Roosevelt's bust or along the rim, like tiny scars marking the strikes. Even missing mint marks have surfaced, Denver pieces without the typical D and Philadelphia examples absent their P have appeared in change. Beyond these mechanical quirks, planchet flaws, tiny pits or laminations where metal separated, create shallow divots on the surface. Spotting one of these abnormalities in a roll of loose change feels akin to discovering a rare gem in a river pebble assortment. A closer look at the double die varieties shows how subtle the differences can be. Inspecting Roosevelt's ponytail, collectors note extra ridges as if an echo of the original design split off. The torch's flame sometimes seems to burn twice, a faint second outline dancing beside the main image. On the edge, lettering for United States of America might blur slightly, as if the die shifted mid-strike. To verify authenticity, experienced hobbyists compare suspect coins under magnification to reference plates from reputable grading services. If the doubling matches documented patterns for the 2015 DDO-015 variety, the find transforms from a curious misprint into a recognized collectible. Current values for a standard 2015 dime in average condition hover around face value, unsurprising given the hundreds of millions struck. However, the error-struck varieties command more attention. A minor die crack example graded at about uncirculated can fetch $25 to $50 among dedicated error collectors, while fully struck double dies in mint state grades can climb past $200. Auction houses occasionally list high-grade error specimens with starting bids of $300 and even $500, depending on visibility of the doubling and overall eye appeal. As of mid-2025, the top recorded sale for a flawless MS-67 double die 2015 Roosevelt dime reached $1,150, a remarkable sum for a coin barely a decade old. Reports of recent sales reveal surprising enthusiasm. One online auction closed with a hammer price of $920 for an MS-66 Plus example with a pronounced die crack and exceptional luster. Another collector paid $375 for a raw, ungraded 2015 Philadelphia dime missing its mint mark, drawn by the curiosity of an otherwise standard design stripped of its identifying letter. Even circulated pieces, if they display clear doubling or an unmistakable planchet flaw, have traded for between $75 and $150, outperforming many older, more widely known error coins in terms of return on a small investment. Collectors often recount the thrill of unearthing one of these varieties in everyday transactions. A coin roll purchased for $1, when opened, transforms into a treasure trove yielding a single error piece worth dozens of dollars. In club meetings and online forums, hobbyists share photos of coins spotlighted under raking light, where raised die cracks glint like miniature scar lines. Some dealers offer specialized error grab bags, mixed lots priced at a premium over face value, banking on the probability of containing a 2015 anomaly. Whether that gamble pays off depends on luck and the sharp eye to spot the telltale signs. Beyond mechanical quirks, the story of the 2015 dime includes a subtle production shift. That year the U.S. Mint fine-tuned die metallurgy, transitioning to a tougher steel mix to extend die life. While reducing the frequency of cracks and doubling, this change inadvertently produced rarer early-run dies that exhibited the old softer behavior. In other words, the first weeks of strikes became more prone to errors before the new material took full effect. Coins from those early batches, often identifiable by luster characteristics and die polish marks, represent the sweet spot for error hunters seeking the brightest doubling or most dramatic die cracks. Assessing condition is crucial. A well-circulated error might pique interest, but its value remains linked to clarity of the mistake and surface preservation. A dime-graded MS-64 with clear doubling on Roosevelt's hair ribbon commands a premium over an identical variety with heavy bag marks or surface imperfections. Grading services like PCGS and NGC assign numeric grades plus designations, FS for full split, DCAM for deep cameo contrast, that further distinguish the most collectible examples. Collectors shy away from raw, unverified coins unless they possess the expertise to compare against certified examples. For those seeking to evaluate their own finds, a handheld loupe of at least 10 times magnification provides a starting point. Position the coin under an angled light, rotating until die cracks glimmer or doubling pops. Note whether the doubling appears on multiple elements, portrait, lettering, torch, or only in an isolated zone. Consistency with documented 2015 varieties confirms legitimacy. When in doubt, submitting the coin for third-party grading yields both authentication and a market-recognized grade, unlocking higher selling prices. Enthusiasts who secure a certified 2015 error dime often display it in a small acrylic holder, spotlighting the precise flaw. At coin shows, these modern rarities draw onlookers curious how a seemingly ordinary dime can fetch hundreds. Conversations spark over the contrast between massive mintage and tiny error populations, and how evolving mint technology influences collector interest. As more hobbyists turn attention to post-2000 issues, the 2015 dime emerges as a flagship example of modern numismatics' thrilling potential. Whether you're hunting through rolls at the bank or scanning circulation finds, the 2015 Roosevelt dime invites a deeper look. Its story, from technical tweaks at the mint to headline-grabbing auction results, illustrates how even modern coinage can surprise. Keep your eyes sharp, your loupe ready, and your collecting spirit open to unexpected twists. Up next, we'll rewind the clock nearly half a century to examine the legendary 1971 dime, a coin whose journey from high mintage to sought-after rarity offers its own share of fascinating twists. Shadows of past struggles and golden hopes mingle in the story of a dime that quietly rolled off mint presses over 50 years ago, only to become a sought-after treasure among those who prize small things with big tales. The 1971 Roosevelt dime emerged during an era of global tension and domestic change. America was deep in the Vietnam conflict, gas lines snaked through cities, and the public's confidence in government wavered. Amid that backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued its commitment to Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy, carrying forward a design that first appeared in 1946, a dignified portrait of the 32nd president paying homage to his leadership and his crusade against polio, paired on the reverse with the enduring symbols of torch, olive branch, and oak sprigs for liberty, peace, and strength. Yet for all its familiar dignity, the 1971 dime quietly developed its own legend, built on the surprising interplay between massive mintage and scarce survivors in top condition. Mint records show that the Philadelphia facility struck over 900 million Roosevelt dimes in 1971 for general circulation, while Denver added another 650 million to the nation's coin rolls. Despite that staggering volume, few examples escaped the wear of daily commerce in pristine condition. Collector interest in early 1970s dimes remained muted for decades, since their clad composition, copper-nickel layers bonded to a pure copper core, lacked the silver content that drove mid-20th century collecting booms. However, as seasoned hobbyists turned their attention to post-1965 coinage, the 1971 dime became a test of patience and precision. To find one graded mint state 67 or higher demanded an almost forensic hunt, whether in long-forgotten coin albums or the deep bins of well-stocked dealers. Identifying a top-tier 1971 Roosevelt dime requires keen eyes. The obverse should reveal a sharp delineation of Roosevelt's hair strands and the folds of his suit jacket, with no hint of bag marks or wear on high points. On the reverse, the torch's flame must flicker in crisp relief, and the olive and oak leaves need to display clear vein lines. That same crispness applies to the rim. Any softness along the letter edges of United States of America or E pluribus unum diminishes grade. In addition to regular business strikes, a handful of proof-like specimens surfaced in circulation, coins exhibiting deeply mirrored fields and frosted devices, unofficially dubbed cameo qualifiers. Beyond the standard strike quality, several errors and varieties have attracted attention. Planchet clips, where the blank misses part of the minting blank's edge, leaving a curved section missing, occasionally appear on 1971 dimes, though they are more common on older copper coins. More intriguing are die cracks and die clashing. Die cracks manifest as raised lines on the coin's surface, often branching like fine hairlines across Roosevelt's cheek or through the torch. Die clashing, where the obverse and reverse dies collide without a planchet between them, leaves ghostly impressions of the opposite design's contours in the fields, tiny, mirror-image echoes of Roosevelt's profile on the torch side, for example. These anomalies, while not officially listed in major die variety catalogs for 1971, nonetheless draw error enthusiasts eager to document and trade examples. Condition-based value variations for the 1971 dime can be dramatic. In well-circulated grades, good to very fine, values hover near face, sometimes fetching $1 to $3 if well-toned, since natural toning can add visual appeal. At about uncirculated, $50 to $58, where light surface marks replace evident wear, prices creep upward to $5 to $10. Once a specimen enters mint state territory, values escalate. MS-60 pieces trade around $15, MS-63 examples command $30 to $50, and the rare MS-65 can reach $100 to $150. Climbing further, MS-66 dimes garner $300 to $400 among specialists, and surviving MS-67 pieces, estimated in the low hundreds for both Philadelphia and Denver mint marks, fetch upwards of $1,000 to $1,500 depending on eye appeal and strike sharpness. Auction records testify to the feverish interest in the very highest grades. A Denver minted MS-67 specimen sold for $1,875 at a major numismatic auction in late 2023, notable for its razor-sharp strike, flawless surfaces, and subtle cartwheel luster radiating from edge to center. Philadelphia equivalents in the same grade command similar sums. The best of the best, labeled FS501, a coveted designation for full-split bands on the torch's vertical bars, can push into the $2,500 to $3,000 range when they emerge. Even proof-like pieces graded PR69 DCAM have turned heads. One flawless cameo specimen brought $2,350, a testament to collectors' appreciation for that ethereal contrast. The journey of the 1971 dime is riddled with anecdotes that enliven its mythos. One seasoned collector recounts unearthing an MS-65 graded example in a long-forgotten proof set sold by a bank in the late 1980s, hidden among half dollars and quarters, its cameo finish catching only a rare glint in dim light. Another story tells of a coin club member who spent years trading up from well-worn circulation pieces, each upgrade a small victory, until landing an FS501 MS67 that now sits encased in a custom-made display box, its story as cherished as its delicate, mirror-like surfaces. Beyond individual tales, the 1971 dime reflects broader shifts in collecting trends. In the 1960s and 1970s, hobbyists favored silver issues and commemoratives, sidelining clad regular-issue coins. Today, however, the quest for modern rarities has drawn a new wave of enthusiasts who relish the detective work of finding high-grade survivors among the billions minted. That quest drives regional shows to host specialized, modern-clad bourses, where dealers trade high-grade 1971 dimes alongside other post-1964 rarities, creating a community that prizes meticulous condition and nuanced knowledge over pure metal content. Evaluating your own find starts with careful inspection. A loupe or stereo microscope under raking light reveals whether surface marks are superficial bag abrasions or deeper issues that threaten grade. True cameo contrast shows a distinct separation between frosted devices and mirrored fields, whereas semi-proof-like pieces exhibit a subtler blend. Checking for full-split bands on the torch, first documented and codified by error expert Leroy Van Allen, can elevate a coin's rarity. Full-split bands appear as fully separated lines in the torch's horizontal bars. Storage also influences long-term value. Original mint packaging, rolled in mint cellophane tubes, offers a snapshot of how the coin appeared fresh from the press, unscathed by handling. Coins removed from rolls and stored in inert flips or mylar holders show minimal toning, preserving the clarity of detail. By contrast, those that rested for decades in PVC flips may exhibit greenish hazing or small surface pockmarks, detracting from appeal. The 1971 dime's popularity has also spurred creative collecting approaches. Some hobbyists compile complete sets of all certified mint state grades from MS60 through MS67, tracking population reports to discern which grade represents the sweet spot for value versus cost. Others focus exclusively on full-split band varieties, assembling boards that showcase each mint's performance and minute die differences. Online forums buzz with debate over the best lighting techniques to reveal cameo contrasts, while local coin clubs offer hands-on workshops for members to learn advanced grading skills under the guidance of veteran numismatists. No matter which wrist-weary bank teller slip or dusty coin album yielded your find, both dimes reward patience and a keen eye. From modern die materials to decades of circulation and storage, each coin invites you to look beyond face value and appreciate the serendipities that make collecting a lifelong passion. Whether chasing the gleam of a newly struck error or preserving a relic from a time of turmoil, these two Roosevelt dimes remind us that even the most ordinary objects can conceal extraordinary tales.